This week on The Real Housewives of Orange County.
You are a liar. You're lying right now. So then prove it. Bring all your receipts. Prove all your proof.
Prove that we had phone conversations.
I work hard for my business. I do not.
Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to We're going to be talking about the new episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 18, Episode 10. Let's get right into this. Wow, you guys, it's been 10 weeks of this show. You know, time goes by so fast. So this episode starts where we left off last week. Shannon just went into Heather's room to show her a picture of the night of her DUI. It was her face being all bloody, and Shannon says that she sent that photo to John that night and he did not respond. So it's kind of being insinuated that he ignored her, which that's awful. And Shannon is a mess right now. Heather says that she's sorry that this is all happening and she's sorry that Alexis is here, but she does end up convincing her to go get ready. So, and she even lets her use her glam team because there's a dinner that the entire group is going to. So they all get ready to have this dinner, but right before it, Emily stops by Alexis' room to tell her that earlier today the videos were brought up and that now Shannon knows about it and that she was deeply affected by it. Emily wants Alexis to have a little bit compassion, a little empathy for Shannon, just for her to soften up. But Alexis says that there's also another side to the story that isn't just Shannon's. Emily says, I understand that, but I feel like it's really mean to be doing this. And Alexis says, well, if I was mean, the videos would be out by now. Then Alexis starts to cry, and I was just like, now why is she crying? That's crazy. Anyway, she ends up staying behind. She decides not to go to dinner because now she's playing the victim. Once they all go to have dinner, Shannon tells Emily and Gina that she offered to pay the entire amount to them, but she wanted to include a no disparagement clause, but they declined that. And Gina says, yeah, they definitely want to destroy you. Because, why not, take the money and just agree to that? So it's clearly not about the money anymore. So then they sit to have dinner, and Heather got a text from Alexis that she's not going. And then Tamra tries to defend Alexis. She says, are y'all really that mad at her for being in love with this man? And, everyone else with a brain is like, no, that's not the issue at all. And you know it. And then Shannon walked out for a little bit with Jen, and then she starts screaming. But it did crack me up that Shannon says, I will never be in a room with that woman again. Well, tomorrow I'm going to have to, but after that, I'm not going to. Then they go back to the dinner, and they just agree to talk about other things and have some laughs and some fun. Just switch the subject already. So it's the next morning, and Alexis goes to Heather's room. Today they're going to be splitting up into two groups to do different activities, and then later that night they're going to have the big event where everyone will be together. Also, Katie was telling Jen that she wants to apologize to Heather again, and that she wants to explain that Gina was the one that was pushing her to talk about the paparazzi. But I was just thinking, Katie, I love you, but get over it. Nobody cares. We all know Heather is lying. She definitely called the paparazzi, but it's not that serious. Just stop trying to defend yourself. So one of the groups is Tamra, Alexis, Gina, and Emily. They all go to a nice little bakery to bake some biscuits, so they were having fun doing that. Alexis also takes the opportunity to apologize to Emily and Gina because she doesn't want them to feel uncomfortable or feel weird in the situation because of the whole Shannon stuff. Alexis says that she does want to move on to a place where they can at least be cordial, which is nice to see. Just a little bit of her taking a little bit of initiative, I guess. Gina also calls out Tamra for not having any empathy towards Shannon, and then Tamra says that it bothers her that Shannon is still ordering drinks like the other night. But I was just thinking, Shannon wasn't driving the other night, so who cares? The other group was Heather, Katie, Jen, and Shannon, and they went outside to do sort of like a sound bath of some sorts. It was like an exercise of stretching, closing your eyes, listening to nature, inhaling. Now, all the ladies were not really able to connect and be one with nature because Shannon wouldn't stop coughing, and it was one of those like sickly coughs that you can hear all like the congestion inside. I was like, oh my god, ruining the vibes, but it did look a little relaxing. So after the session, Katie wants to bring up the conversation with Heather again, and Heather says, "We're going backwards, Katie." So she dismisses Katie again, and that's why I didn't want Katie to bring this up, especially since because this is Heather's event, she kind of has sort of like the advantage of some sort. So she definitely dismissed her. Moving on, everybody meets up, and Heather partnered up with some fashion designer, and they're going to do a little bit of a fashion show with all the ladies. So they picked out outfits for the ladies. And poor Emily got triggered by so many outfits that were picked for her, it making her think that people still see her as a big girl, even though it's nobody's fault. And even though I don't like her, I will give credit to Heather Dubrow for checking up on Emily quite a bit throughout the whole thing. She really went out of her way to make sure that Emily was fine, but Emily just kept saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. But she wasn't fine. Deep down, it was bothering her. So, again, it's no one's fault, but I do feel bad for her. She can't help how she feels. Also, y'all, Shannon was trying on this coat, and someone was saying to her, "Oh, that looks so good on you." And Alexis was walking by and says, "Yeah, it does look good on you." And Shannon's face, the way she just turned, was so funny. Heather catches Tamra outside, and she tells her that Katie is trying to go backwards and explain herself again. But then Tamra says, "You need to let her explain herself and give her a chance to, because Gina set her up. Gina told Katie what to say and how to say it." Then, get this, everyone. Tamra tells Heather that Gina said that the only reason she tries to be so close to Heather is for the real estate connections. Damn. Gina's cold, if that's true. So Heather says that she says to Tamra, "I'll deal with that later, but I'll tell you what, she doesn't have those connections anymore." So the ladies then do the fashion show. A little later, Tamra kept flirting with Terry, which I thought was kind of weird. But they all had fun. Heather then gives a speech to end the event. So after that, everyone's just kind of hanging out and like mingling with each other. The ladies are attempting to get Shannon and Alexis to exchange a few words to talk. Shannon is leaving to have a show with Vicki, so they want, not for them to become friends or anything, but just kind of be okay. Not hate each other. Alexis was definitely open to it, but Shannon is refusing to do so. And I understand it. Part of me would have liked to see it because I do think there was a little bit of sincerity from Alexis, but I do understand how much Shannon went through just on this trip alone. I understand that. Because listen, if there's somebody who's dating your ex and you just found out that they're going around saying that there's videos of you in a bad light, of course I'm not going to want to talk to that person. Also, Heather tells Katie that tomorrow she will allow her to explain things. And then, you guys, Shannon pulled out a bad B move. So she's hugging everyone because she's leaving to do her show. When she gets to Alexis, she says, "Alexis, I heard that you wanted to talk to me, but I just want you to know that I'm not interested." Then she walks away. I was just like, damn, savage. So the next morning, they're all packing up because they will be leaving later that day. They're going to a vineyard as their last event. They actually had to ride a bike to the vineyard, which I thought was really nice. And then they sit down to have some wine, some snacks. And Gina brings up that she's very upset to know that they've gone back to deal with the same issues that they've already gone over. But then Gina goes from 0 to 100, screaming at everyone, calling Katie a liar, and she lied about everything. Heather says that she has now heard that Gina said that she's only friends with Heather because of the real estate connections. Gina says, "That's a lie. She's a liar." She says to Katie, "You're a liar." I, for once, agreed with Tamra. She said, "Gina, you're so defensive that you look really guilty right now." But this ends with Gina breaking down and crying. And she actually had a sort of a bad morning already because of the whole Travis drama. So because she's crying and everyone's kind of having empathy for her, they kind of just focus on that. listen, I said this every single time. I don't understand what is the problem with Travis. I'm still confused. I don't get it. Like, if she wants to break up, just break up. I don't know. But it was nice to see that they all were nice to her and kind of comforting her, and they agreed to get over this whole thing again. So hopefully we won't ever have to hear about Heather's paparazzi drama again. So yeah, guys, that was the end of the episode. Overall, pretty good episode. Looks like next week there will be drama between Emily. Emily's going to be activated with Heather and with Alexis, so I can't wait for that. But y'all let me know what your thoughts were about this episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one.